but I also have Dean here somewhere. Dean, are you there?
Oh man, am I ever here?
Oh, he's present.
I am so here. Hi, everybody.
Hey,
What?
Dean.
Oh,
Hello, Dean.
Hello, Dean. Dean, you want to share with us? You get a quick couple minutes?
yeah, sure. Why not?
Thanks, amigo.
Just want to unshare Uli's screen first.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Dean, did you borrow that headset from Britney Spears?
There we go. I'm sorry, you guys.
I've got the
Yeah, I might
glasses
have.
for you too, dude. You can just rock these with that.
Yeah, sweet. There we go. Yeah, I actually can't hear what anybody's saying. I've got music on in here, so I have no idea what's going on. Man, is it ever great to see so many people connected and so many people from, I see behind different shades of light reflecting different time zones around the world. And isn't it amazing that we can all be together in our own backyards, yet together at the same time? I love that, everybody. And I live in Vancouver, Canada. And hey, by the way, Josh, how much time do I have here?
5
minutes? Okay,
Yes, sir.
sounds good. So I live in Vancouver, Canada, and I work for Young Life of Canada. And specifically what I have a history in is ministry to skateboarders. We have an organization within Young Life called SkateLife. And it is, its purpose is to reach skateboarders from within the skate scene across the country and beyond to wherever the skate scene is at. Our goal is to be like that verse in the Bible says, that fragrant aroma that permeates skate culture, that is able to, from within, be able to bring influence and God's presence into the scene, whether it's through programs or whether it's through camps or contests or just personal relationships. And we've been really excited to be able to partner with many of you over the years to be able to do things in skateboarding. One of the kind of biggest exciting things that we've been a part of to give us an international chance to understand what's going on in skateboarding is the Skateboarding Community Summit. The last one we had was in Barcelona in 2018, and we're planning to have another one in 2021. This has given us a really great perspective as Canadian skateboarders to understand a 4-year or a 3-year cycle of what's going on in the skate scene and what's dipping in the skate scene, and in essence as well in the larger action sports, adventure sports scene, to be able to understand the ebbs and the flows, what's emerging and what's fading. So I'm not the expert. I just I like to have eyes wherever I can and to listen to people as they talk about what they see in their areas, what they see in their ministries. So what I want to do in preparation for this conference, to get us all talking, I want to provide some runways, I guess we could say, that can help us to launch conversations. So I have 6 runways of things that I've seen emerge in the action sport, adventure sport, and based around the skateboarding scene as well, that are talking points for me that me and my colleagues, my friends around the world talk about. And I wanted to share them with you. And I'll put them up on the chat later if you don't catch them. But what I'd like to do is have you guys, if you want to write them down, and then you guys can talk about them through the week, or you can talk to me. I'll give you my number or an email, and we'll hopefully have a good conversation about them. So these are the things that I see emerging in around the world. The first one, and it has to do with particularly where we were supposed to be right now, is in Japan in advance of the Olympics. I see a next level to organizational structure for action adventure sport. I see that there's a new level of government entry. There's a new level of government organization. There's a new level of organization of businesses, nonprofits, NGOs around the world that are coordinating around things like skateboarding, like surfing, rock climbing, mountain biking. There seems to be this emergence of this is becoming mainstream, and us large organizations are going to do what we can to take it to the next level. even in things like schools. In Canada specifically, outdoor adventure school, both in for children and also in post-secondary and in graduate studies, experiential learning outside is a major thing now, and it involves all of the adventure and action sports. We see that obviously in the Olympics, but we see that also in national federations of these adventure sports. So that's number one, next level organizational structure. The second one I see is that there's big business engagement in action sports and adventure sports. I should say that I'm doing this in comparison, I'd say, since the last time, since we met, I guess, in Munich, which is about 2 years ago. So these are things that I've noticed particularly since the last 2 years as well. But I see big businesses engaging. And the way I see this is primarily as an example in marketing, the way that businesses market. And we all know that a lot of businesses have used, things like skateboarding, like surfing, as little carrots to dangle their marketing platforms on. But I see that emerging on a new level, that it's become sort of the standard by which they promote the products that they want to sell to people. They're using action adventure sports because they understand that's where a lot of kids and young people are at. From clothing, from programs, from food and drink products, those kinds of things. So big business engagement, that's number two. Number three, I see there is such an emergence of individual active options. We're no longer faced with just the opportunity to go, oh, I want to be involved in this team, or I want to be involved in this sport, or in this action with these groups of people. People are choosing their own way. The internet has been a great tool for this. You can just go online and figure out how to do whatever you want. And I think that that's great because it provides a ton of options for us to do. But I think the backside of that is that we're isolating ourselves a little bit because of it. Because we're all finding our own way, we're also in danger of losing our community a little bit. So I see that as an emergence that's a good thing, but it also has a potential negative consequence to it as well. So that's number three, individual active options. Number four isn't just something that I see emerging, but something I actually see fading. And the big thing that I've seen is big team sports. I think that that is a dynamic that we're starting to see in the sunset a little bit. It's waning, and I watched a movie, a Will Smith movie, a couple days ago called Concussion. It's a look at the National Football League in the U.S. And the concussion protocol that they had, and the damage that's happening to a number of athletes based on the fact that they're repeatedly getting hit on the field and getting head injuries. In Canada, hockey is a major thing, and we're seeing numbers of Canadians engage in hockey on a declining scale or flattening out. Team sports, I think generally, and big sport with the big marketing campaigns around it, I think is fading. And in that gap is inside that gap is adventure and action sport. It's taking the rise as these big organizational sports are fading. So that's number four. Number five is I see that there's a shift in mission style. And we're going to talk about this during the summit. I was happy to see this on the agenda. But there's a lot of business as mission emerging. And it's already been there for a long time, but I see a next level of it. I see this because I think that the shift from traditional North American-based donor missionary ministry is changing, particularly in Canada. The demographic that used to give to the traditional missionary is now older. They're the baby boomers. They're reaching the end of their lives, and the donations that they're giving now are much more legacy-styled gifts. They're giving from their wills, knowing that they're going to pass on in the next 10 years. But as these people go, there's a void. People don't recognize the importance for giving to the traditional missionary as they used to in North America. So I think that the shift of mission style is going to shift as the donations begin to move from that traditional North American style to something else. The last one, number 6, is I see emerging of God's Spirit. And this is really exciting because I see that even in a thing like COVID, like Tony was just saying, it's forcing us to be quick on our feet. And I see that God is doing something really unique, especially in this window of time. And I'm very excited to see what he's going to do. And God's Spirit is always working, but I see that there's an emergence of that in a new expression. And I don't know exactly what that means or where it's going, but I'm very excited that we are all here talking about it together. And I'm very excited about the week so that we can explore things like this a little bit. So I will write these in the chat again. But thanks for your time. And that's what I see going on. So I'd love to chat about it and talk to you all more. Back to you, Josh.